Hello everyone, Argsy here. Welcome back to the Canadian cattle farmer in Chilliwack, British Columbia, and welcome to the first day of October. We've been spending a lot of time already this morning getting animals fed, and we're just on to our last load. If I can get that up and over the mixer without tipping into it, there we go. Just onto our last load here in the big mixer to feed the animals in the feedlot. We've fed all other 5 of them, and we've also been down and fed the cows in their pastures as well. So we just need to get this feed mix done. Get those couple of straw bales off there, and then we'll be into getting maize silage and grass silage put in. Are they going to come off? I always think you're smart when you try and take lots at once and you end up having to fiddle around with farm sim physics and trying to get those bales off. Let's see if we can get that one. There we go. Right, perfect. So we're going to hook up to the silage fork there. You can see we've already managed to empty out this bunker, so we're down to our last 700,000 or 800,000 litres of silage here on the left. We've got a whole lot more maize silage than we do grass silage. I think we're probably 2 to 1 maize silage to grass silage. So what I've been doing is putting 1 scoop of grass silage in, which gets the 10% minimum we need for our realistic mix that we're doing for these animals, and the rest is maize silage, because while we've still got the 3 tubes there, we have actually managed to use up one of our silage bags, but we've still got 3 to go, and we've also got the harvest store with quite a significant amount of silage still fermenting in it, so we're all pretty good there. There's actually not much to be doing on the farm at the moment. We don't have any weeds or anything to take care of in the wheat, because those fields were ploughed. They're not going to germinate any weeds. So what we're going to be doing today, we're actually going to get our big freestall built, and we're going to be moving some animals down into that. In fact, we're going to try and move all the cows once I've chewed up all the TMR mix that we already have in their feed lots. We're going to bring them all down here and get that built and animals moved, which is going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to that and having them all here on site. It's going to be great. So let's just carry on. We'll get this all mixed up. I must say I do like Maize Plus with the radius here, where you can get close enough to see we're 38,000 out of 64. So we just need to put a couple of loads of maize silage in, 12,000 per time with this, and we'll be full. There we go. Right, that's already a TMR mix now, and we need another 14,000 litres. So I think we'll just put a bucket, another scoop of maize in, and that'll do. We'll just go a couple of thousand litres under the required mix. Now the interesting thing, and I didn't really think about this, when we emptied the first bag out, you can see it sitting there, but it did give us the bag back on a pallet, so we'll be able to use that when we do our next round of maize silage in the next season. So we've got 12,000 litres. Get backed up here, and we will pick this up, throw it into the back of the mixer, and then we'll be able to go and get the last pen fed. I better double check exactly which one it is. I think it's the middle one of the limousines, but we'll double check that. That would make it 2B based on the way I coded those at the start, so I will double check that and make sure we're feeding the right ones. Well, good thing I checked, because it's not 2A or 2B. They've both got about 80,000 litres in. It is in fact 2C, which is the closest one here to us. So fortunate we did go and check that. So let's get pulled in here beside, and we will see about getting these guys fed. I'll have to have a little bit of a look. I haven't actually really figured out how much we've fed in these up yet, and what value they're getting to. But there we go. That is all going in there and getting them fed. They're all going to start wandering over. I must say, I think that's a pretty cool feature, that when you start feeding animals, they'll wander over to their feed trough and start eating. It's quite cool. Let's just have a quick look at the animals, and we'll see how much bigger they are now than when we bought them. So we've got them in here. They're 14 months old and worth $1,845 each. Now, of course, I can't actually remember how much we paid for them. If we just jump out and head on down this way to the animal trigger, which is there, I'm pretty sure we can't have bought those because they're 18 months. I'm pretty sure we bought the 12-month-old ones at $1,150. So that means they've already gone up $700 a head. So I tell you what, another 6 months or so of feeding them, they're going to be pretty big and healthy and just about ready to sell, which will be fantastic. That was the aim of the game, fatten them up, send them off to a meat market. There we are, just about all fed, so we'll get this done, go and get parked up, and then we'll look at getting this feedlot built, or the freestall built down the back, and we'll have a look at how we're going to get milk out of that. So let's take a look here in the build menu. Of course, under animals, if we go through cows, scroll across here, we will find the Legacy Agricultural Corporation BTO Freestall Monoslope. 1,000 head this will take, so we'll just bring this out here, and I think we've looked at this once before or twice before, but this thing is massive. But as it works out, and in fact we're just going to turn on our snapping so that it snaps parallel, but as it turns out, it works out at pretty much exactly the same length as our feedlot, which is pretty clever. Good luck rather than good management. But I think we're going to place that right about there, just enough space that it's not hard against the field, enough space we can get along the front, and we have these doors on each end to access it. See there, $143,000 or so. Must be a little bit of leveling that it needs to do. I thought I'd managed to level most of this off. You can see it is having to do just a touch more. That's alright. Should be good to go. So I think if we put that down right about there, and we'll go and take a look at it. Now, I didn't change the wall colour, which was a little bit of a faux pas, but of course I don't have the mod installed, but we should be able to do that if I go and get the mod from Thunder for the colour changer mod, that we can go in and change those walls. But there we go, that is our Freestall all down and built. Looking very good. It's a stunning model, I've got to say. It's going to look really good once we get some animals in there. So we'll sort out the colour, get the walls painted the correct colour. We want it to match the blue we've got on the other sheds. You can see over there on the shed on the end. We're going to get that done, and then we'll go and hook up to our animal trailer, and we will go down and bring our brown Swiss animals, the cows, over here and get them in here as well. And we've also got to put down a milk vat and milk silo on the end so that we can get the milk out of this once they're set up and starting to be fed and producing milk. So we'll sort all of that out, and then we'll be into it. So we've installed the placeable colours mod by Thunder, and now you can go through here. You'll see if we hold down left control and press M, we can start to cycle through the different colour options. Now, if I'm correct, I think that is the matching blue that we have. In fact, we'll just have a double look to be able to spin around. There we go. Yeah, that looks like the same blue as what we've got on the shed over there. Everything else is all the same, but just while we're here, just going to remind people about how this mod works. If we press the left shift and M, it's going to change our colour selection to 2, which is the roof. Now we can cycle through different options for our roof. We're going to go back and keep it on the default colour, the white, because that matches everything else. And then the way that Legacy has programmed this, we can also change the trim colours there on the side. Again, we're going to keep that white because that matches. But those are the 3 sections we can change colours on. But fantastic. Even though I made the mistake of putting the shed down, and that was completely unintentional. I didn't mean to change it. I did want to change it. But even though we've done that, we can get in here and get that changed. Now, the other thing we are going to put down, because this is not configured to be a dairy pasture, it is more for fattening animals and for beef, we're going to cheat a little bit and make use of Schultz Modding's buildable feedlot, which we're already using, but he, in the latest update, added in. So if we place this milk storage, 1 million litres of milk, $500, we just need to place this down close to where we want to have it. So we're just going to pivot around that way. Just going to bring up my menu because I want to turn on our toggle snapping. Again, that is C, and I think just somewhere in here is going to be a good spot for it. Get it too close to the shed. You can see there, if I move it away, it acts a little like a liquid manure extension tank, but of course it is only milk. So we're just going to put that down right about there. And now we should be able to get some milk out of this once we have some cows in here producing milk. And that will be our collection point and everything else for the milk from it. So use your imagination, pretend that there's a parlour or some milking equipment in the shed. But I'm quite excited to get down and get the animals in here. So we're going to go grab one of the trucks, we're going to go grab our cattle trailer, and we're going to go for a drive, go and pick them up out of the barn and bring them back to the farm. Trailer all hooked up, we are rolling out on our way down to the barn to go and pick up the cows. Now I was just checking, actually I was going to wait until they had used up all the TMR down there because I obviously didn't want any to go to waste, but it looks like with the grazing mod installed they've actually had an influx of food come through in the way of grass that's in their pasture. So well, there's actually quite a bit of food down there, but as it is just from the grass, it's not food that we've delivered to them or anything like that. We're just going to leave that down there. We're going to head on down, we'll go and get them picked up, and once we're completely done with that, we're going to sell that piece of land. That's going to go towards contributing towards the purchase of the new block of land next to the farm. So let's go and get these animals picked up. So we've made it down here to the barn, and we've got ourselves backed up to the load point here. And if we just open the trigger, there we are. We've got our 50 cows, 50 of the brown Swiss, and they're all at 26 months. They must actually be very close to reproducing, or 70% reproducing, but they must also be very close to getting us some milk. So I'm looking forward to having that. But let's get those 48 moved across to the trailer. Going to leave us our couple of stragglers there, but we'll go and get these ones taken back and put into the into the freestall, and we'll come back and get the last couple, get them down there as well. So we'll see you back down at the yard. So back down here at the yard, and we're just heading around to the gate at this end, or the door at this end. This is where we unload our animals into. So we're just going to get ourselves backed up there to the door. We'll get the door opened up, and then we should be able to offload all of these cows, get them put into the shed, and then we'll have the last couple to go and pick up as well. But I think we'll just get backed up in here, right in front of the door, and of course we're going to have to open the door so we can unload the cows out of the back of the truck. There we go. Let's just go and get this door put up. Get on over this way. There we go. That'll go on up, and once it's open we'll be able to jump back in here and offload those animals. And there we are, 48 of them. We'll move them all across to the husbandry, hit an OK, and there we go. We should be empty now, and so we'll drive around and see what we've got sitting inside the shed. Hopefully 48 cows, looking very happy, and there they are, spread all through the pens, which is perfect. Doesn't that look good? Actually looks quite well, considering there's 48 in there, and it's actually quite well populated compared to others. It could look quite sparse, but they're looking pretty good in there. I'm quite impressed. Right, I won't save you the trouble of watching us drive all the way down there for just the last two, but we will go and do that, and then we'll be able to get that last piece of land sold, get some money off of that, and then we'll get the cows all fed and make sure everything is working for them. And there we go, we are back and have delivered the last two of the cows, so we should have all 50 of them in here now, which is good. There you go, 50 animals in there, all 100% health. Of course they're going to want some food pretty quickly, or they're not going to be too happy that they are in there, and looking good. Beautiful. And a huge addition to the farm. Have them all here, completely sheltered, everything like that. It actually provides some good shelter and protection to the feedlot as well. Any wind that whips across the rest of the farm, that does protect the cows very, very nicely, all the cattle in there. Right, well, we better go and get them some food. We'll get a food mix done up for them, and we'll go and get them fed, get the truck put away as well, and then we'll see what we've got left to do. Probably not a huge amount for today, but we'll see. We might mix up some extra food just to keep the cattle all fed and allow us to transition through time a little bit speedier over the next couple of months, but we'll wait and see what ends up happening. Look at the grass in the back. We've got the straw bales here now to go. Things are a little bit sticky on these bale forks, a little bit hard to get them off, and only just enough height. We might almost be better at getting a telehandler or something like that, but there we go. Those went in much nicer than the last lot. So we'll drop this off, and we'll go and grab our silage fork and get the grass silage first. Again, like I said earlier, we're going to use the grass silage more sparingly than we will the maize silage. We'll be a little bit more liberal with our use of that. Let's just pulled up in here, hook that up. Beautiful. Go and get a bucket load or a scoop, fork load, whatever you want to call it. There we go, 12,000 litres. Back ourselves up, and when we get into range we'll be able to see exactly how full things are here. It's already 28, so this is going to take us up over 40,000 once we've got this all tipped in. There we go, 41,000. So what are we, 23,000 short, so 2 scoops of maize silage should just about do it. And then we'll have to go and figure out, I'm pretty sure they get fed in the front of the shed. We'll have to go and figure out exactly where that is, but let's just get pulled up in here. We'll get this maize loaded onto the forks and put into the mixer. There we go. Right, let's get this mix finished and go and get these animals fed. So 64,000 litres of TMR. Let's go and get these cows fed. Figure out exactly where it is. It should be, as I suspect, along the front here, but we'll find out in just a minute. Drive along here and see if we do get an unload trigger. It's either here or through the back. I'm not sure exactly. Maybe it is through the back. Alright, no trigger here at the moment. Must be through the back, and we've got unload side set to left, so we'll go all the way down the other end, drive through and see if we can unload through the back. We'll be on the correct tip side if we go from this angle. Hopefully we've left ourselves enough space to be able to get turned in here without too many dramas. Looks like we're pretty good. Let's have a look here. That one opened up. Jump in and wait for the door to go all the way up. Let's see, everything fits nicely. Alright, there we go. Yes. so our feeding is in the back here. There we go. And as per the other shed, the other cattle, when we fed them, they all get up and are going to start heading over here, try and get some food. In fact, she's proper excited. Look at her run. And you can see as we get further along here, you can start to see that fill plane for the food starting to fill up. So we'll get driven along here. We'll get some TMR through the whole trough, and then we'll check everything else is all set up and working properly. And then these girls should be happy. Looking back along there, that looks like quite a full food trough now, which is good. And there we go. 64,000 litres of TMR should keep them going for a wee while. Not too long. These dairy cows are certainly getting hungrier, particularly once they start producing milk. Of course, those Swiss Browns haven't actually given us any milk yet, so hopefully with the little boost here, they're not too far away from being productive. So we'll go and check, we'll just have a look at all our animals, make sure everyone is all happy and healthy, and then we'll decide what we're going to do next. So the brown Swiss down the bottom, 64,000 litres of food like we've just put in. They're all healthy, happy, and have everything they need. We could always put some straw in for bedding, but we've actually been taking the slurry out at the moment. You can see that's already full, so we obviously don't have the slurry trigger quite close enough to drag the slurry into the pit, which is a little bit frustrating. But you'll see through a lot of these, they actually have 100,000 litres in them, so we've got a lot of slurry. The Holsteins, these ones are 80% through their reproduction, so not too far away from being able to hopefully get some more Holstein animals in here, which would be great. And you can see these ones are even closer than 90% of the way through. So in the next couple of months, hopefully we're going to see some extra animals come into the herd, which would be fantastic. But now before we go any further with anything else, there is one more thing we do need to do, which is sell that other plot of land. So we'll go and see if we can do that. We might run into some problems with it having the barn on there, but let's go and see. So here it is down here, field ID 3490,650. If we click on sell, let's see if we can sell it. It looks like we can. Fantastic. So there we are, $190,000 better off from that land sale. So we're back up to 336. That is more than paid for the Freestall here. In fact, it's going to pay for that, plus a little bit of the land next door. Now, I'm not going to buy the land next door. It does have some crops on it which are growing. We're going to leave those for the farmer. Current owner's going to get those taken off, and then we're going to take possession of that, so we don't have to pay for it until that is done. Well, I think that has actually taken us to a very good position to wrap things up for this episode. It's great to get that Freestall built, great to get those animals moved down here. We will bring the Holsteins down at some stage. We might look at doing that once they've started reproducing, and possibly even just bringing the younger ones in here, or bring them all down. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do yet. Maybe we'll bring the older ones in here, and this can be our milking area. We could keep some of the younger ones in the one of the pens. Of course, we're keeping those two barns and the land around them because they have our clover in it, which we want to be able to get in there and mow at some stage. I'm looking forward to being able to get into that. But like I said, I think this is a perfect juncture to wrap things up for this episode. We are going to be probably skipping through time. I'll be spending a bit of time off screen and getting some TMR mixed and keeping the animals all fed and happy and healthy. Our next milestone for any action is actually going to be in the middle of winter in January. We've got a few thousand litres of oats to sell, and they are going to be at their best price around then. So we will be back for that. But this is probably going to be our last episode for a couple of weeks. We will be off to FarmCon very, very soon. So while I'm away for winter, off the farm for winter, we'll be enjoying some time away as well. And we will be back. Certainly by no means am I finished with this series. I'm still really enjoying it, and looking forward to taking it through at least one more full season through to this time in a year from now. So keep watching. Hope you have been enjoying it as much as I have been enjoying making it. Anyhow, thank you as always for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I'll catch you in the next one.